Running up the score. Jerry.
He just sucks.
He's not good.
let's just put it out on the table. He's not a good quarterback.
Tom.
Oh, way to join a team that already won a title.
Let's hope some people still get thrown at and, get hit in baseball.
Keep it interesting,
right?
yeah. Where's that quarter? Let me look at that one more time.
I dare you to watch it and tweet us. Tell us, oh, you know what? This is a hell of a sport.
Where's this been all my life? I'm done. No, done. This is running up the score.
It is running up the score.
We're done here.
All right.
We're done here.
This is Running Up the Score. And it starts now.
All right, it's time to run up the score. Running up the score with Jerry Napoleonello, 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. We are live on Zeno Live and Periscope. Thank you to our sponsor, Yelphi Sports App. Again, I'm here with Tom Galopani. The call-in number is, as always, 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. We got a lot to get to today. I started last week's show by saying the 10 or so days of the offseason at the time were better in the NBA than the regular season, the postseason, and the finals. Well, I guess it just keeps getting better now. James Dolan finally had enough with Phil Jackson, and Chris Paul is on his way to Texas. We know winners of the season awards in the NBA after their first annual NBA award show. NHL also had their award show since last week's show, so we'll talk about that. Not only that, the Las Vegas Golden Knights have their roster. That was interesting. I liked it a lot. Another interesting thing in sports was the new basketball league, the Big Three. We had the first week of games on Monday, so we'll discuss what we thought. We're going to get into all of this and much, much more. Got a great show ahead of us. Thank you to our sponsor, Yelphi Sports App. You can download the app from the iTunes App Store by searching Yelphi. It's spelled Yellfy. Make sure to follow me at Jerry RUTS Sports and Tom at Tom RUTS Sports. And join in with our conversation through the next hour here by calling in at 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live, or tweet us at RUTS Sports. You can also follow us on Instagram, RUTS Sports, and like our Facebook page as well. So, how was your week off?
It was pretty awful because I was sick.
Yeah, that makes it always awful.
Yeah, still am a little bit dealing with it, but we are getting through. We got a lot of stuff to.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
To get into.
But first, we'll start off with the NBA offseason. As I said, and I said this to start off the show last week, this offseason, I mean, how long have we been in the offseason? First of all, it's about, 2 weeks long?
Yeah.
If that. It's better. It's been better than the regular season, postseason, and finals altogether, I would say. I mean, just the rumors, the trades that have happened, the draft. You had the NBA award show. Did you watch the award show?
I didn't watch it. I caught up a lot of it after it was over.
I didn't watch it either. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was watching.
I got the breakdown on the article.
Yeah.
Basically what we have. In front of us.
And
now.
I was watching the Big Three because the Big Three debuted on Monday. Yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
I think the most interesting thing was that it was on a tape delay. So we'll talk about that when we get to that later on. But we had a big trade go down today. I mean, we were going to start today probably by going with Phil Jackson. And it actually happened last week. I spoke about Phil Jackson. I was actually on Phil Jackson's side. This week is obviously a different tune. Phil Jackson is out. But before we even get to that, because I wanted to start with that, but then within an hour or two later, actually, the whole Phil Jackson thing came down overnight.
It started to last night with them saying
that they're
more is going to
expected
be coming out of his situation.
because I mean, I got home about, I think it was like 2:00, and nothing. I didn't see anything yet. I woke up and I had a whole bunch of notifications saying that Phil Jackson was fired. So it had to have happened between the hours of 3:00 and whatever. So that was definitely big news. So that's what we were going to start off with. But then I think maybe 11:00 Eastern today, Chris Paul is going to opt in, but only because there was talk last week about Chris Paul opting out, him and Blake Griffin opting out. Now, that could be different things all at once. That could be, all right, he's leaving town. That could be, all right, I'm going to opt out and then sign back at a different price. Yeah. Well, now he's opting back in. Obviously not to stay in LA. He's getting traded to the Houston Rockets. And when you really sit back and look at this trade, I don't think that the Clippers won in this. I don't think the Rockets really won in this. The Clippers, you're losing Chris Paul. They got decent players in it.
Hey, it's better than nothing.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I think. I don't think that this was a great trade. I'll give my opinion before I'll let you give yours. The Rockets just traded Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, and a first-round pick. What do they have left? Yeah. What do they have left? What is it that they have left?
That's a lot of your bench, and
you got Chris Paul and James Harden now.
Yeah.
What do you got left?
And it's a questionable trade also because Harden wasn't a bad point guard last year. He was really developing into an actual point guard. He was up there in assist leading, so he was starting to develop into an actual point guard. Now, would he prefer to go back to his original ways of a shooting guard? And he was the one that kind of pushed this trade. We don't know the behind the stories of it, but is Harden, accepting to the fact that he's back to the shooting guard? I would assume so.
My thing is, I don't know how well this is going to work because
you're still not better than the Warriors.
Well, no, that's it's not. But
that's a whole nother
the
story.
Rockets are expecting to have Carmelo Anthony or Paul George. Who knows what happens? What do the Rockets have left?
What do you even?
What are you going to trade? But my thing is, you have two ball-dominant players in James Harden and Chris Paul. And James Harden flourished this year, obviously finishing second in the MVP voting. He flourished this year as the point guard, as you were saying. So now you're going to move him back to shooting guard. Like I said, he's a ball-dominant player. Chris Paul, there was talks that he was a ball hog in LA. There was a lot of talk about this whole Chris Paul thing. Then there was talks that came out saying that Doc Rivers and Chris Paul, there was a disconnect there. Also that there was a trade on the table, I think last year or the year before, that would send Carmelo Anthony to the Clippers, and there was a bunch of guys in the trade. I think Jamal Crawford was one of them, but one of them was Austin Rivers. Doc Rivers said he did not want to trade. He didn't want to make that trade because Austin Rivers was in that trade. So he didn't think, Chris Paul didn't think that Doc Rivers was treating everybody the same, which is understandable. That is his son. So it's like, when you really think about it, the optics of Doc Rivers trading his own son, that's kind of tough to swallow.
Put it on yourself when you become president of a team, though.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So,
especially when your son's not that good.
Yeah. So,
not to mention you're not that good at coaching. Overrated.
Yeah. So, you have that. So that was big. So a lot of people didn't think that Chris Paul was ever even going to come back to LA. So there was going to be a way that he was going to be gone. This is the way. But again, the Clippers are getting, as I said, Lou Williams, Patrick Beverly, serviceable people,
Definitely.
but bench players.
Yeah, no,
these
agree.
guys are bench players. And now what do you have? You have Blake Griffin, you have DeAndre Jordan.
I
That's
was just gonna ask: is he next, Blake?
You would have to guess so. I mean,
DeAndre would be tough-ish because of the contract.
Yeah,
the $85 million I believe he's getting. Is Blake next? And it's kind of ironic if you think about it. It kind of just dawned on me.
Yeah,
Chris Paul and Doc Rivers and all them convincing DeAndre to stay.
Yeah,
last year.
Yeah.
Now everybody's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
So kudos to them for being good friends.
Exactly, and like that's the funniest thing is like, who wins in this?
Yeah.
Like I don't know really who wins in this. Yes, the Rockets are getting a top-notch point guard, if not one of the best point guards in the league, in Chris Paul. But now I don't know how that's gonna work, and it's so hard to bring in two stars at a guard position or at kind of the same position. It's kind of.
I think it would.
It's an easier transition when you have a forward, you have a guard, and a center or whatever.
I think the only thing that's going to help them is it was in the off season.
Yeah. So you got
more
time to work.
Blend together. If this was in the middle of the season, I feel like you would see Chris Paul, trying too much with his new team, trying to get everybody the ball. But now that he kind of has time to gel with everybody, training camps and all that, so I think it'll be a little better than it could.
And then say you add Carmelo Anthony. I mean, you just got 3 losers on your team. I mean,
I think the Clippers won just solely on the draft pick, just because. And it's not that the Rockets will be better, but you're not going to be better than the Warriors, and you may not even be better than the Spurs.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I thought it would have been a better fit for Chris Paul to go to the Spurs. Like I thought that was the better fit.
Definitely.
Because now you're looking at Kawhi Leonard, Chris Paul. Ginobili still hasn't retired yet, so you don't know like exactly. You're expecting him to retire. Tony Parker, if he's back, you can put him as a bench point guard. To have Chris Paul starting and then you bring in Tony Parker as your backup. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
So altogether, I thought that it would have been a better fit. Now,
Definitely.
Basically with James Harden and Chris Paul, I don't know how good of a fit that is. I really don't.
And it's just weird, as we were saying earlier, with how Harden was adapting to becoming a point guard. It's just weird that now they're gonna basically retract all of what he did last year.
Yeah.
And just, throw him back to being a shooting guard, which obviously he can do. He can score with the best of them, but
yeah,
it's just weird that I don't know, it's odd.
Yeah. But the other news of the day was Phil Jackson being fired. Now, I said last week basically that why don't the Knicks fans just sit back and just see what Phil Jackson's going to do? I really didn't think that he was doing some of the things to get fired. I don't think that he was doing anything to ruin the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of that.
I would agree.
And Phil Jackson's a smart guy. And the thing is, maybe trading Porzingis wasn't the worst idea. If you really think about it. Now,
no, I would. Especially, obviously, depending on the return, but
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna get, if you trade Porzingis, you're gonna get very good. The kid's 21, 22 years old, and he's one of the better forwards in the league.
The only reason I would have considered it even more is you saw him kind of regress in a way.
But I
he
think
had such a hot start, and now it's more injury ridden, and trying to recover from that. So if there was any time to do it, it would have been now.
Yeah, and the thing that Knicks fans don't understand, and I mean, Twitter blew up when Phil Jackson was fired. All the Knicks fans were having a party. This is not going to end the woes of the Knicks.
No.
It is not going to end. You still have James Dolan as your owner. I mean, does anybody out there really realize that?
Which is so weird also because he owns the Rangers, which is such a you don't want to say,
but
they haven't won cups, but they're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're more taken care of.
Because you're not hearing of James Dolan like you are with the Knicks. Like, you're not hearing about him with the Rangers. You're like, it's whatever. But he still sucks as an owner. He just got a lot of money. But the thing is, a lot of these players don't respect James Dolan. So even if you don't have Phil Jackson on your team, it doesn't matter. A lot of these players don't want to play under James Dolan. It's just that simple. You getting rid of Phil Jackson, it might end the talk of him trying to ruin the Knicks. No, the owner's going to ruin the Knicks.
We were in the same exact spot prior to him being hired.
Exactly, and that was my thing, was that no matter what Phil Jackson did, it wasn't going to be enough. Nothing that he like I said, he wasn't going to bring the new coming of the Knicks. Like, the Knicks weren't going to be the 94 Knicks. It's not happening, and Porzingis wasn't going to bring you to a championship. So why not? And this is exactly what I said last week. Why not trade him and get a crap load of stuff back for him?
I would say at least 2 first.
Absolutely. Instead of having one piece, you can add 3 pieces, 4 pieces, or even trade bait. So that was my thing. Like, it's not that bad of an idea, because right now you're not playing for a championship. Next year, you're not playing for a championship. The year after that, you're not playing for a championship. The next 6 years, you're not playing for a championship. It's not going to happen.
Well, maybe he could still be trade bait depending on how he does in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Knicks are going to do awful.
Yeah.
But if he plays well, then, that load that you're going to get back might even increase more from a desperate playoff team.
Yeah, and like this is why I wanted to talk about this, because I mean, it's just people think that firing Phil Jackson was gonna they're gonna be good again.
No,
it's not
you
gonna
weren't
happen.
good before.
Exactly, it's not gonna happen. But we had the first annual NBA awards.
Just real quick before we end Phil Jackson talk.
Okay.
This just shows how bad of an organization the Knicks are.
They're terrible.
That they knew they were firing him last week.
Why not do it before the draft?
Why not do it before the draft?
That's that.
Now you're stuck with an 18-year-old French kid that you may not want.
You don't even know what you're going to get from him.
Continue to be horrible. We can move on.
Listen, I liked what I heard about this kid, because he basically, no, I know. He came down, got drafted, left did a workout in New York that day, then left that night to play in a championship game in France the next day. So I thought that was that was cool to hear about this kid. But I mean, just why wait this long?
Yes.
Why wait this long?
You knew last week why.
You knew at the end of the season you were gonna. And I think just the Porzingis talk was the topping on the cake. But the thing is, this Porzingis talk has been around for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So why not fire him then? They just. The Knicks do not think. There's no thinking when it comes to the New York Knicks. None.
This is
whatever.
I feel like it's just like the Knicks and the Jets are just like
they're dumb.
There's just something. They're just brainwashed together.
How about the Mets?
We can throw them in there.
Throw
too.
the
Why
Mets
not?
in there too.
Why not?
Throw the Mets in there. But we'll talk about good things in the NBA now. We had the first annual NBA awards show on Sunday, I think it was, right? Or no, it was Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
Monday night. As I said, I didn't watch it. You didn't watch it. Supposedly, I've heard mixed reviews about Drake being the host of it. Some say he was funny. Some say he wasn't. I don't really know what to say about it. But the one thing that we were waiting to see was who's going to win MVP. We had 3 guys that really, if either one of them were named MVP, I don't think anybody would be mad. I think they picked the right guy.
Mm-hmm.
I said at the beginning of the season that I thought Russell Westbrook was going to be the MVP because it's just him now. and he could finally, he's not going to hear any crap about him taking shots away from Kevin Durant. It was him. You know, he was the main piece of this team. And I mean, this Thunder team would have been a lottery team without Russell Westbrook. The fact that he broke the record, the Oscar Robertson record, for triple doubles in a season was the icing on the cake as well. Because I mean, he had an unbelievable season, and I think he is definitely your MVP of the season. We also had the most improved player, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Sixth man of the year went to Eric Gordon. I mean, that was that's a solid pick for the sixth man of the year.
Yes. Agreed.
He was the perfect asset off of the bench for the Houston Rockets, and it showed. Coach of the year, I think this stunned everybody. It was definitely earned. I thought it was, it's a great pick. But I think it shocked the hell out of everybody because of how bad he was in LA, how bad he was in New York. Went to Houston with the same system and everything, but it flourished. And he's kind of changing the NBA. If you really think about it, this system is really changing the NBA. He thinks that why the hell even take a 2-point shot when you could get 3 points? That's the system, Like, don't play defense. Just score more. Score more than the team that you're playing, which is basically the catalyst for sports. I mean, score more than your opponent.
When you think about it,
it doesn't matter how much you give up as long as you score more. If they score 2 points on that end, score 3.
Yeah.
And that was Mike D'Antoni, and it flourished this year. It was perfect. They broke the record for 3-pointers in a game. That was just, that was the Houston Rockets, and Mike D'Antoni deserves winning Coach of the Year, and he did.
He's not winning the title, so
No. And I like I said, I think this trade kind of hurt them in a way.
Yeah, I would agree.
Rookie of the Year, Malcolm Brogdon. I thought it was deserved. With the Milwaukee Bucks.
Some say Joel Embiid, but the limited games.
But you know what? He keeps getting hurt.
Yeah.
I thought Joel Embiid, and again, this was going to be technically his third year in the league, and he didn't play the first 2. So it's like, you know what?
Silly.
Why even consider him as a rookie? But I thought if he could stay healthy, he's one of the better centers in the league. I mean, that's. But Malcolm Brogdon with the Milwaukee Bucks, I think they're an up and coming team, especially with Giannis. That's a special team. They're an exciting team to watch. And Malcolm Brogdon was one of the reasons.
They're kind of like what the Timberwolves want to be.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that
developing the young guys, getting better each year.
Them adding Jimmy Butler was huge.
But I think playing in the West also hurts.
I mean, anybody playing in the West hurts. I mean, it's like you can have, but even that, like we were talking about this the other day with, if you don't win a championship, it's a failure. I mean, like with teams like these, the Timberwolves, the Milwaukee Bucks, for you to make the championship, that's everything anybody would want.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's still like you're still
I'd
playing
rather be
for
a fan
second
of
base.
Those teams, though.
Yeah,
at least right now, just because like if you're a Spurs fan, like how do you feel just knowing you're going to be better?
You're the best team in the East, and you're still in second place. So it's like it's kind of hard. Executive of the Year, Bob Myers. Sager Strong Award went to Monty Williams, which if nobody knows the story behind this, Monty Williams had his family ruined in one night. His wife and his kids were killed in a car accident. So for him to win this award was special. I heard it was a very heartfelt kind of award. But then you have the teammate of the year went to Dirk Nowitzki. Lifetime Achievement Award went to Bill Russell, and supposedly I heard that Bill Russell had all the centers, all the best centers in the league, were up there to hand him the award, like Shaq, Kareem, like all those guys, and Bill Russell turned around and said, "I'll kick all your asses." Which is funny because, all everybody talks about is like, oh, can this team beat this team? Can this guy beat this guy? So I thought that was pretty funny. Best style went to Russell Westbrook. Assist of the year went to Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Block of the year, Kawhi Leonard. Dunk of the year, Victor Oladipo, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Lance, Larry Nance should have won that. But, Kemba Walker won Sportsman of the Year. Game winner of the year went to Russell Westbrook. That was insane. That was, I think, the game that he broke the record, I believe, or something like. I'm trying to remember what it was. But performance of the year, Klay Thompson. Playoff moment was Kevin Durant, which understandable.
Yes.
But we had the draft, as we said, and number one obviously went Markelle Fultz. We all knew that it was going to happen. Lonzo Ball went number 2. We all knew that was going to happen. Number 3 was where it could have went either way. Jason Tatum or Josh Jackson. Boston came out earlier, like after that, and said, like Danny Ainge said, I was going to take Jason Tatum no matter what. If I was at number 1 or at number 3, I was going to take him. So, in a way, he basically got everything. He got all this stuff that he got from Philly for a guy that he was going to take either way. So that's also, a cool, aspect to that. Josh Jackson went number 4. De'Aaron Fox, number 5. Jonathan Isaac, number 6 to Orlando. Lauri Markkanen went to Minnesota, traded to the Bulls. Then you had the Knicks with Frank Ntilikina, however you want to say
that
it.
Name.
Dennis Smith went to Dallas. Number 10 went Zach Collins to the Kings.
This was, I thought, a little surprising in the next one.
Malik Monk went to Charlotte. Luke Kennard went to Detroit. Donovan Mitchell went to Denver, traded to the Utah Jazz. Bam Adebayo went to Miami. Justin Jackson went to Portland. Justin Patton went to Chicago. DJ Wilson went to Milwaukee. TJ Leaf to Indiana. John Collins went to Atlanta. Harry Giles was traded to the Kings, but taken by the Portland Trailblazers. Terrence Ferguson went to OKC. Jared Allen went to Brooklyn. OJ Anunoby
Nailed it.
Went to Toronto. Tyler Lydon went to Denver. Was drafted by Utah. Traded to Denver. I'm not even going to try to say this guy's name. Went to Orlando. Traded to the 76ers. Caleb Swanigan went to Portland. Kyle Kuzma went to Brooklyn. Tony Bradley went to the Lakers. Derek White went to the Spurs. And Josh Hart went to Utah, but then was traded to the Lakers, which I like Josh Hart.
Go up to number 10 again, because a problem with the NBA and a product of the NBA, and a big topic has been the game itself and how it's played. What's his name again? Can you give me his name?
Zach Collins.
He wasn't even a starter on his team.
He was on. He was on Gonzaga.
Player.
Yeah, they had 2 7-footers on that team.
I know.
Yeah, no, I know.
Just let that go through people's.
He was a
wasn't
top
even
10 pick,
good enough
and he
to
wasn't
be
even
a starter on his own team, and he's a top 10 pick.
I don't even think that the starter for Gonzaga. I mean, unless he wasn't even in the draft, but he didn't go.
I think he stayed.
Okay.
I think he stayed in school. I if I'm not mistaken, I believe he came out and he said he was staying.
But when you really I mean, it's hard because you could take a 7-footer and it's huge. Like having a 7-footer on your team is
so
huge.
Different
but
now, though.
it's absolutely.
Like
I understand that. Like
Dirk Nowitzki, 7-footer nowadays.
Or Porzingis.
Yeah.
I like this in Darius Thornwell, getting taken by Milwaukee in the second round.
And then
You know,
they're pretty good with their second rounders. That's what Brogdon was last year. And
Yeah.
now he's Rookie of the Year.
And even Thomas Bryant going to the Lakers was a good deal. I like that. But you know, there's different guys. Like I have a whole thing, and basically who they I like who they actually are. Like what kind of comparison you would say for that player that's in the in the NBA right now. So I mean, when you really look at it, we'll look at let's say we'll look at the guy from, I mean, unless we have him in here, the guy that went to the Knicks, and we'll tell you who he basically is. You know, like this whole thing. Like you had Lauri Markkanen. He went to the Bulls in a trade. He went number 7. And they're saying his comparison is Ryan Anderson. So Ryan Anderson is, at best, a bench player. You had Justin Jackson, who I don't think he's going to be this bad. But his comparison's Tony Snell. Come on.
It's not what you want to say.
No. Malik Monk, his comparison Zach LaVine, which is not bad. Dennis Smith, who went to Dallas, his comparison's Eric Bledsoe.
Okay.
So the guy Frank, however you want to say his last name, that went to the Knicks. His comparison is Avery Bradley, which is a solid comparison, which he did get snubbed from the all-defensive team. Jason Tatum, his comparison's Harrison Barnes. Which Harrison Barnes are we talking about? Golden State Harrison Barnes? De'Aaron Fox.
He's making his money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. De'Aaron Fox, his comparison, which is very promising. John Wall. You like to hear that. Jonathan Isaac, his comparison was Patrick Patterson. You know, they're like even with.
I personally think Josh Jackson is going to be the best out of the top.
Well, listen, Josh Jackson, his comparison, a jacked up Chris Middleton.
Interesting.
Yeah. Lonzo Ball, his comparison's Manu Ginobili, which in a way, a lot of people compared him to Jason Kidd, which that's more promising than Manu Ginobili. But don't get me wrong, Manu Ginobili's an NBA champion.
He's a winner.
You know, he's a winner. He's the guy. Markelle Fultz, his comparison is James Harden.
I don't see that comparison.
I don't see it either.
No,
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, I don't see it.
See it either.
He's so quiet and just toned, and Ginobili's flying into
and he passes and everything like that. Like
I don't see that.
James Harden is Markelle Fultz.
Ooh.
That's
now what I just don't like that pick. Fultz at 1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you can't make your team one of the best 64 teams in the country, you're not that good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They won 9 games.
That's not good.
And they're not in a good. They're not in a good division. And I said the same thing about Ben Simmons. The guy couldn't even get him to the
can't
tournament.
Even get your team to a tournament. I'm sorry, that's not worthy of a first pick to me.
Exactly.
Call me crazy.
When you look, and you know what? In a way, like Ben Simmons went to LSU. Okay, like that's Markelle Fultz went to Washington, and you can't get your team. Like you're supposed to be the number 1 pick, and you can't get your team to at least 15 wins. Lonzo Ball took a 10 win team to a 31 win season this past year in 1 year. Got him to the Sweet 16, I think it was.
Might have been the 8. No,
was it?
I think it.
Either way, he got him far in the tournament. So it's like when you look at it, it's like, all right.
I just don't buy into those guys.
A lot of people were turned off by Lonzo Ball's father, which is understandable. And with Boston, they had Isaiah Thomas, so you're not going to take a point guard. Then you trade it, and
I would have took Jackson if I was Boston. I really would.
Yeah,
that's just me. Hey,
yeah,
everyone has their opinions.
But when we get back, we're gonna get into a whole lot of baseball talk, including Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger. Very interesting to watch. Very exciting to watch. I went to Old Timers Day the other day for the Yankees. I had a few choice words for Joe Girardi. But, that's
been that's happening
a lot.
Yeah, that's yes.
I mean, I've been saying it for the last 3 years.
Over manager of the year.
Oh my God! And you know what? He didn't even overmanage. He like, you know what? Yeah, I'll get into it when we get back. But Vince Young had some comments that he made, and John McEnroe made some comments that definitely went viral.
It's just because it's 2017.
Yeah,
we'll get into it.
Hey, Tom, doesn't it get annoying when you're watching sports? Let's say you want to send a text to your friend or tweet something about the game or check out your fantasy team. Or, hey, how about you want to go to the game and even set up a tailgate party and you have to go to all these different apps, websites, etc. to do all that. What if you could just go to one place for all of this?
What if?
Well, I'm here to tell you there is that place.
What is that place?
Yelphi Sports app. You can get detailed real-time scores, stats, news, rumors, fantasy news, team and player comparisons, built-in social network feature, which is integrated with Twitter and Facebook. Create one-to-one private chats, or just get everybody that you know and make a group chat. Buy and sell tickets, host a tailgate party, or even a pickup game. One sports app for all your sports information. Make sure you go download Yelphi Sports app in the iTunes App Store. Yelphi, the only sports app that you need.
All Noise Radio. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. All Noise Radio is an internet radio station that's fully produced by graduates of the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. From modern rock to old school hip hop, country to classical, news, talk, sports, and more. It's the noise you can't ignore. Log on to allnoiseradio.com. Fire up the station. Find out more about your favorite jocks. Get the latest CSB news and more. Plus, you can take All Noise Radio with you on the go for free. Just download the Live 365 app to your iPhone, iPod Touch, or BlackBerry and search All Noise Radio. Check out tomorrow's broadcasters today at allnoiseradio.com. Powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Hey, this is Jerry Napoleonello, host of Running Up the Score. We are live once every week at 7 p.m. Eastern, where we hit on all the top headlines in the world of sports. You can also find us on Stitcher, iTunes, and those of you that like the visual aspect, check us out on YouTube. Running Up the Score. We run up the score on Sports Radio.
Cyberstation USA is the future of radio. Get your business into the online future at the world's largest internet radio station. From banner placement on our homepage to any of our broadcaster stages, commercials on our video player, audio spots on any of our shows, or at the beginning of any of our on-demand broadcasts. Cyberstation USA offers competitive rates with a worldwide reach. A fully integrated one-stop shop social media broadcast platform. For more information, please contact our sales department at Cameo at cyberstationusa.com.
Now back to Running Up the Score. Here's Jerry and Tom.
All right, Jerry, we've had a few rookies make quite a splash here in the first half of the MLB season, two in particular being Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger. Is it a must, is an imperative that these two are in the home run derby? But first, give us a call in at 605-562-7085. Press 5 to be heard live. You can also follow and tweet us at RUTS Sports, as well as follow us on Instagram at RUTS Sports. And check out our website, www.rutsports.weebly.com. So do you think it's a must for these two to be in it?
You know what? It's tough because obviously Aaron Judge is a Yankee.
I would say more so Judge than Bellinger.
Yeah, and the thing is, we all know the talk around the home run derby. It screws up your swing. You end up in a drought after that. Blah blah blah.
And baseball is a very superstitious sport to begin with.
And I understand it, and that's why I'm very, kind of on the fence about Aaron Judge. Because the thing is, who's the talk of the MLB right now? It's Cody Bellinger. It's Aaron Judge. Those two have been the talk of the league since April. And for the one reason is for the home runs that they're hitting. And kind of, if like for them not to be in the home run derby, it's kind of like a punch in the gut to all the baseball fans. To me, I 110% would definitely back up Aaron Judge if he says no. You know, I would rather him say no. But, I mean, could you imagine the home run derby? You already have Giancarlo Stanton in it. You have Cody Bellinger. You have Aaron Judge. Three guys that hit absolute bombs in the home run derby.
That's special.
You know what? That could bring back the home run derby, because lately it's been kind of souring on
like
people.
The Hamilton
at
Yankee Stadium kind of since then, and it's been downhill.
Now, quick question before we even get into anything. You think the Bulls are juiced this year? Because that's been the talk.
Yeah,
that's been the talk.
That's a good. It makes you wonder if there's something going on in that baseball.
Because I mean, these guys, and don't get me wrong, Giancarlo Stanton is a humongous man. Aaron Judge is another humongous man. Cody Bellinger is a pretty big dude as well. Maybe not as jacked up as those two, but
if you stood next to him, you would.
Yeah,
you would know.
So, I mean, you're having guys that you don't even know hitting home runs, 480, 475, stuff that we haven't really seen. And you're like, it's like a consistent basis where you're seeing a guy hit a ball at least 460.
Yeah. No, it does. You know, raise that question. That
don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining.
Oh no,
I mean, this is like the better version of the steroid era. Like, yeah, you know what? The only problem is that people, you know, will say about juiced balls is having a ball come back to the pitcher. You know, and it's obviously going to be harder. So I understand that, but I also, we have the exit velocity now of, you know, the ball coming off the bat, and I believe the highest was Judge at like 120. Yeah.
So I'm just, you know, we haven't seen an increase in that in terms of, you know, the ball's not coming off the bat that much faster like this year compared to, you know, 5-10 years ago.
But again, this is a stat that
just started.
Yeah. I mean, this whole StatCast thing.
I think it's a little crazy.
I think it's idiotic to have something like this. It's so stupid. They just need something to talk about. Yeah.
If it's a home run, it's a home run.
That's the thing. Like you're seeing, and Aaron Judge breaks the record for the StatCast era, and then it's like
2 weeks old.
2 years? What
you know what this is? You know what this is perfect. This is exactly what this is. Major League. First Major League. Playing against I believe the Yankees.
Yeah.
And the guy hits like a bomb. And the 4 drummers.
Yeah.
It's like, it's too high.
It's too high.
And then they're just sitting there talking about it for 10 minutes after that bet's over.
What do you mean it's high?
And he's like, who gives up? It's gone. That's exactly. It's gone.
Exactly.
It's a home run.
It doesn't matter how fast or how slow it gets out of the ballpark. It's gone. It's a run, 2, 3, 4 runs, whatever.
It's too high.
Yeah, that part is hilarious. But you know, now you kind of talk about these two, and they're not the only two that are having exciting years. I mean, even 1 or 2 year veterans are having solid years. I mean, look at the guys in Boston. You have Mookie Betts. You have Andrew Benintendi. You know, these guys. I mean, these guys are solid players.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everybody. I feel like you're seeing it more now. Like these solid Ian Happ with the Cubs. You know, these guys are solid players coming off. You know, and with the Yankees, I'm more excited about it because they have a bunch of these guys in the farm system. And we just saw one of them come up yesterday, Tyler Wade. Solid player. We'll be seeing him a lot lately because now Matt Holliday is put on the DL. You had Starlin Castro put on the DL as well. Joe Girardi said that Clint Frazier is very close. So that's exciting. I want to see him come up. It sucks that Gleyber Torres was, got hurt because we probably would have saw him come up.
Yeah, he would have.
And then you have some pitchers, with the Yankees as well. But a funny thing happened. Well, not funny, but with the Mets. Just, same old stuff with the Mets.
Just keeps every week. It's just something else.
They lose another pitcher. Gesellman gets hurt, running down to first base. And this is where I feel like people kind of are getting annoyed with it. And Ron Darling on the broadcast took about 30 seconds out of his broadcast to rip training for the Mets. And this is Ron Darling last night in the Mets game.
Trainers and gets them in a room with some of the old trainers and people that took care of baseball players and how to keep them healthy, and get them in a room and try to tap into some of their knowledge on how you train baseball players, not weightlifters, not six-pack wearers, baseball players. They're doing a disservice to their $1 million athletes that they're paying. It's a joke to watch this happen each and every night.
So he had some few choice words.
Sounds like he's pretty sick of this.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. If I was a Met fan, could you imagine being a Met fan? Could you imagine being a Met fan?
I'm having a rough time right now with my 500 team. God.
But now, are you 2 years removed from the World Series?
Well, no.
I mean, just look at the Mets. I mean, they are 2 years removed from being in the World Series. 2 years. They still have the same pitchers that so-called got them to that World Series appearance.
Yeah, they're all on the DL.
And they're all on the DL. I mean, it's like everybody gets hurt on this team. Everybody.
Can't make it up,
I mean, like, did you see that whole Zach Hampel? You know Zach Hampel?
I know him. I haven't seen.
He's the foul.
I actually think I feel like I
Yeah.
saw.
It was last week or 2 weeks ago or
I think
something
I
like
saw
that.
his video on YouTube of this incident, but I didn't.
Oh, really? I didn't
click it.
see the actual incident. I kind of just read an article about it. This is the Zach Hampel. If anybody doesn't know who he is, he's considered the foul ball guy.
He's A-Rod 3000.
Yeah, and
If that rings any bells.
yeah, and he has basically been to every stadium in the majors and catches an average of 2 either foul balls or home runs every game.
But I just want to say this. There's a little flaw in this so-called system that he has.
Really?
A lot of it's batting practice. On his YouTube,
Touche.
on his YouTube, like it's more like into it. You think he's getting like
Yeah.
4 or 5. No, it's most of them are batting practice.
You know what? I don't like him. I've actually saw
He's got
him
one of
at
those faces.
Yeah, I saw him at a Yankee game once.
Is this why you don't like him? Or is
Yeah,
this, okay,
this
okay.
kind of added to it. I wish I could say this on the air. He's kind of a
Was he like bully?
yes,
in a way?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
basically.
I could see that.
He doesn't care who's in his way.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care who's around him. If he catches a ball, first of all, he'll do anything to catch a ball.
Yeah. No,
That's one thing.
Yeah.
Second, he gets pissed off if somebody else gets a ball around him. And third of all, like I said, he doesn't care about who's around him. So say you have a little girl or a little boy next to you, you catch the ball. Most of the time, you're going to hand it over to that kid. He's not that guy.
That's my nightmare, actually. Like that's actually a living nightmare to get my first foul ball and just like see a child and it's just like.
Yeah. Quick story. I was at a Long Island Ducks game.
Okay, I would give the ball though.
A ball comes over. I end up getting the ball. And there was a little kid there.
You're just done. You're done for.
And it's like you feel like
Yeah.
everybody's looking at you.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's the thing. Like it feels like it's like
You're a bad
you
guy.
better do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you better
you're a
do
bad
it.
guy if you
You're a
don't.
bad guy. You're gonna get booed. You better do it. And I handed the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
Another quick story. I'm at a Yankee
I
game.
would have too, though.
You remember the 15-inning Yankee Red Sox game? A-Rod hits the walk-off.
I believe I do remember.
All right. Well, I'm down in the 100s, which the first time, it was in 2009. First time I'm in the 100s because we obviously know since the new stadium,
Yeah.
they're astronomical. So I'm sitting down there. Derek Jeter's up at bat. Line drive. He hits it opposite way. Line drive. I'm in the first base side. Line drive. Ball is coming straight to me. Like I'm ready to just catch it with my hands right in a perfect spot.
Just be one of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Okay.
3 rows like diagonal from me, the guy tips it. The ball changes its direction, hits me right in the chest.
Ooh.
Drops under the seat in front of me. The guy in front of me picks up the ball.
Now, if I were you, I would have sold it. I
didn't get the ball.
No, that's why I would have faked injury.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, depending on
but I didn't want that
clear replay.
I didn't want that embarrassment of like, oh my God, how'd you not catch that? And
I'm with you.
As a former baseball player that I've been playing my whole life, basically.
You were it was a moment of shame.
Yeah, okay. it's like because nobody knew that it hit me in the chest. Like, because the people that I was with, I told them, I was like, the ball hit me in the chest, and they're like, really? Like, we didn't even see that. And I was like, yeah, I got the laces in my chest right now. Like, yeah. But it was just it hurt.
Yeah.
It didn't hurt physically. It hurt emotionally.
Well, yeah,
because I lost the ball. I mean, it's a Jeter ball.
It's a Jeter ball.
And the guy in front of me got the ball.
Yeah.
That's what hurts the most.
On the kick.
So.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah, it's.
The only time I came close was the Ducks game. Row behind me.
You know what? I got a baseball though. But it wasn't a foul ball. It wasn't a home run. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't batting practice. I went to the first game of the Yankees Oakland A's series when Jeter made that flip play. 2001. Went to the first game. Me and my cousin went. We went nice and early because obviously it was 2001, so there was a lot of security, obviously.
Yep.
And we were like, all right, well, we're here early enough. Let's go down to Monument Park. So this is when Monument Park was in left field.
This is
in front of the bullpen. In front of the Oakland A's bullpen. So we're walking, we're looking, and it's kind of a big step. Like, the bullpen was kind of up on basically a platform, and we were down here. And I'm walking, and all of a sudden, Jason Isringhausen gets my attention, and he's like, hey. And I turned around, and he's like, here, and he throws me the baseball.
How about
that? That was cool.
Closest besides the Ducks, I actually physically touched. Well, my glove did at the time, but it was when a first baseman gets the last out.
Yeah, and then he flip it. Yep,
that's what it was. And then I was stretched. I was kind of Zach Hampling it.
Yeah,
where I was
reaching over everybody,
over kids, and I felt it go off the end of my glove. That was the closest I got.
Yeah, that sucks. But enough with the stories. The Major League Baseball is actually basically taking an NFL thing and an XFL thing and making a weekend of it. The Major League Baseball is actually doing a weekend where you're allowed to have nicknames on the back of your jerseys. And
NFL, pay attention.
Yeah. And they're allowing you to have special cleats. So this weekend is going to be called Players Weekend, and it's going to be August 25th to the 27th. Players long have sought to express their personal style on the field and capitalize on the intersection of fashion and sports in a way other leagues don't allow, and the result will be a test of boundaries baseball may be inclined to stretch in the future depending on the weekend's success. Players will have the option to wear a jersey with a nickname, though they are limited to just one. According to the memo, and inappropriate or offensive nicknames will be banned. In all seriousness, this is an extremely awesome. Baseball culture often works to suppress players' individual personalities, and it's a nice gesture on the part of the league and the Players Association to recognize that the sport will benefit from its fan base getting better know Getting to better know its stars. Proceeds from the jersey and spike sales will go toward proceeds. Wow. Proceeds from the jersey and spike sales will go toward baseball's youth development foundation, which is also good. So that's.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I love
awesome.
this. I love.
I love
you know,
everything about
I
it.
love the NFL cleats. I love the custom cleats and stuff like that.
That's exactly what
these
we're gonna see.
Yeah, but the thing is, these players can't wear those cleats regularly, which they basically wear it for warm ups. That's all you see.
Yeah.
And I love that these guys are actually going to be playing. They did it with the NFL with, your one game to wear for your charity or something like that. Have custom cleats for your charity.
No. Imagine wanting to raise money through shoes.
Yeah.
What a
But
bad group of people.
but
I'm
how
so
about
sick of the NFL. Like
Yeah.
stories like this make me more sick of the NFL than I actually already am. It's just,
yeah.
but this is I'm all for it. The players are probably looking forward to things like this.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
is what makes your guys not just on your team, but like just the whole league. Everybody's happy. Managers are happy. Players are looking forward to this. Everybody is.
Yeah. Before we get into the McEnroe thing, right before we get out of here, Connor McDavid signs an 8-year extension with the Oilers, which is huge, big money. NHL Hall of Fame headliners Paul Correa and Timo Solani.
God, I'm getting old. When you hear the
I know, right? Like guys that you actually watched. But here's a big thing that went around, and I know we're gonna go over time here, but we have to talk about this. John McEnroe made comments on Serena Williams, and it really wasn't. He wasn't making the comments. It was just an answer to a question. Nobody even realizes that. But this is what transpired between John McEnroe and the comments for Serena Williams. He was on NPR. This is what he had to say.
We're talking about male players, but there is, of course, wonderful female players. Let's talk about Serena Williams. You say she is the best female player in the world in the book.
Best female player ever, no question.
Some wouldn't qualify it. Some would say she's the best player in the world. Why qualify it?
Oh, she's not, you mean the best player in the world, period?
Yeah, best tennis player in the world. Why say female player?
Well, because if she played the men's circuit, she'd be like 700 in the world.
You think so?
Yeah. That doesn't mean I don't think Serena's like an incredible player. I do. But there's, the reality of what would happen on a given day. Serena could beat some players, I believe, because she's so incredibly strong mentally. But if she had to just play the circuit, the men's circuit, that would be an entirely different story. So maybe at some point a women's tennis player, can be better than anybody. I mean, I haven't seen it in any other sport, and I haven't seen it in tennis, and I suppose anything's possible at some stage.
So that's what he had to say about that, and
Nothing bad.
Nothing
there.
bad. Like it wasn't sexist.
No.
And before we even give our opinion on it, this is what Serena Williams said on the David Letterman show like 2 years ago, and this is what she had to say.
Actually, it's funny because Andy Murray, he was been joking about myself and him playing a match, and I'm like, Andy, seriously, like, are you kidding me? Because for me, tennis and men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, because it's true. It's true. It's a completely. It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster, and they serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game, and I love to play women's tennis, and I only want to play girls because I don't want to be embarrassed. I would not do the tour. I wouldn't do Billie Jean any justice. So Andy, stop it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you kill me.
I'm with you when it comes to tennis. I only want to play girls.
Yeah.
So basically, she just. She basically said what John McEnroe said. It just came out of her mouth rather than his. I got very upset with this whole thing. People are calling him sexist. People are ripping him apart for what he had to say. Then he went on, I think it was like CBS This Morning or something like that, and they asked him to apologize, and he said no.
Good for him.
You know, like, and they were like grilling him on the news about it, and he's like, I didn't say anything. Like, he took it literally. Like, she's definitely the greatest women's tennis player, but a woman is not going to beat a man in that kind of sport. In any sport, really.
In most sports, yeah.
Because I can't, and it's not ripping a woman. It's just men are stronger, like faster. Like, it's just, I don't know how else to say it. And she said it herself. You know, they're faster. Their serves are harder. I think the most that a woman got up to was like 135 miles per hour on a serve. A guy's record is like 180, 190. Like, it's just, like, you have to take that as it is. Like, I don't understand why, women can do everything that a man can do. But you can't, when it comes down to this, you can't kind of mesh them together.
Mm-hmm.
Because, first of all, I don't even think she would be the 700th. Because the 700th ranked tennis player in men's is winning titles. He's got a few titles under his belt. So, you know, I don't know. What do you think?
She's not getting far. It's just, it's not a matter.
Don't get me wrong. She's a great tennis player. She is. She's strong. She's strong for a woman. I mean, she's jacked up.
We don't have to say anything else because she said it all herself.
Exactly.
And that clip should be played everywhere for everybody to hear.
Exactly.
So everybody can just shut up about it, because
I didn't like the tweet that she sent out, though, because she kind of made it worse, because she was like, you know, I love and respect you, John, but can you please leave my name out of your mouth, and like stuff like you know, try to give me some kind of privacy while I'm pregnant, asked. You know, and it, like, that's the thing, like, the questioner or the interviewer wanted an answer like that.
Yep.
Because that's what
you
she
can
was,
hear it in her voice.
Exactly, and that's what annoyed the crap out of me, because why qualify that?
Yeah.
Why?
No,
like,
you can hear it.
Why not say, like, that's just someone trying to get headline news, trying to get, you know, clickable, you know, sound bites, you know, website clicks, stuff like that. That's what it is. I mean, people are talking about NPR everywhere now because of this stupid, you know, comment thing that, you know, whatever. But there was another person that made comments. And before we get out of here, I want to just bring that up real quick. Actually, I wanted to talk about the Big Three. The Big Three did well. We had few injuries, though. We had 2 injuries. White Chocolate, Jason Williams, is out for the season.
Yes.
He messed up his knee. Corey Maggette also got surgery as well. So that's like a question, like, are these guys going to stay healthy enough? But I thought the first week was great. I watched basically all the games. I thought it was awesome. They're actually changing it from 60 to 50, and they're changing the halftime from 30 to 25 because they don't want these players out there that long. So, but Vince Young made some comments. Former NFL quarterback. He made comments to, I think it was a Sports Illustrated, you know, interview or whatever, something like that. He said, "I hate to name drop." Basically, we were just talking about this off the air. When you say something like that, then why say his name? If you hate to name drop, why say it? He said, "I hate to name drop, but Ryan Fitzpatrick is still playing ? He leads the league in interception, and he's still blanking getting paid. I mean, what the blank is going on? I'd see a quarterback and be like, dude is garbage, and I'm over here in the kitchen cooking turkey necks." Then he had some comments to say about Jeff Fisher. "I'm going to expose his ass. I feel like Fisher did that blank on purpose. I'm pulling in," and this is on, you know, them leaving him off the plane and flying away, whatever. He said, "I'm pulling in, seeing them pull the door down, and I can hear the team yelling. Where I'm from, that's like saying F you." So those are the comments for a fat slob that doesn't know how to play
Couldn't even
football anymore.
make it in Canada.
Yeah, I know you got kicked off the team in Canada.
Maybe that's why you don't have a job here.
Yeah, basically, right? But that will do it. I thought that was a great show. I mean, we
as always, we miss things.
yeah, I know
what we do.
that's the thing. Like, I wanted to talk more about the big three, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that after week 2 this week, or I think it's next week, something like that. So keep it locked. We'll be having the giveaways again next week, so be on the lookout for that. But that will do it for the Tom and Jerry. Well, wow, I was about to say Tom and Jerry Sports Show. Wow, that's
How did that happen?
that's old school right there. I don't know. But that will do it for Running Up the Score. I'm Jerry.
And I'm Tom.
Be breezy.
Be breezy.
You've been listening to Running Up the Score.
We run up the score on Sports Radio.